IAs 2, China 3, India 4, Japan 5, New Zealand 6, South Korea 10 members of ASEAN are as follows: 1. Brunei 2. Cambodia 3, Laos 4, Vietnam 5, Myanmar 6, Indonesia 7, Malaysia 8, Philippines 9, Singapore 10, Thailand. Q40.C. The Hague Convention on the Civil Aspects of International Child Abduction 1980 Convention governs issues related to parental kidnapping or the removal of children under the age of 16 across international borders and involving the jurisdiction of different countries' courts. Minimum Age Convention 1973. The aim of a Minimum Age Convention MAC is to establish a general instrument on the subject of the minimum age of employment with a view to achieving the total abolition of child labor. Preamble. UN Convention on the Rights of the Child 1989. The Convention on the Rights of the Child (CRC) is the most comprehensive document on the rights of children. The CRC is primarily concerned with four aspects of children's rights. The four keys: participation by children in decisions affecting them, protection of children against discrimination and all forms of neglect and exploitation, prevention of harm to them, and provision of assistance to children for their basic needs. India is a party only to the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child, 1989. Q41.B. Microplastics are small plastic particles in the environment that are generally smaller than 1 millimeter, 0.039 in down to the micrometer range. They can come from a variety of sources, including cosmetics, clothing, and industrial processes. They may be classified into two types. Primary microplastics are manufactured and are a direct result of human material and product use. Secondary microplastics are microscopic plastic fragments derived from the breakdown of larger plastic debris. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch is almost entirely made up of tiny bits of plastic, called microplastics, as plastic is not biodegradable, meaning it does not disintegrate. It simply breaks into tinier and tinier pieces, known as microplastics. Microplastics can't always be seen by the naked eye. Even satellite imagery doesn't show a giant patch of garbage. The microplastics of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch can simply make the water look like a cloudy soup. Microplastics are recognized to persist in the environment at high levels, particularly in aquatic and marine ecosystems. Because plastics do not break down for many years, they can be ingested and incorporated into and accumulated in the bodies and tissues of many organisms. Q42.D. Cruise missiles are remotely controlled or self-controlled. They are guided by onboard guidance systems or sensors, hence they can be maneuvered. They can also fly close to the ground, as close as 10 meters. Cruise missiles are also very effective at evading detection by the enemy because they fly very low to the ground, out of the view of most radar systems. It can be launched from air, land, sea, and submarine. Ballistic missile is one that has a ballistic trajectory over most of its flight path. It follows a path determined by the speed of its launch and the force of gravity trying to pull it back toward the Earth's surface. Eventually, gravity guides the missile and its payload. They can be launched from land and sea. Both given statements are not correct. 11 www.visionis.in Copyright Vision IAS. Q43.A. Deposition develops a floodplain just as erosion makes valleys. Floodplain is a major landform of river deposition. Natural levees and point bars are some of the important landforms found associated with floodplains. Natural levees are found along the banks of large rivers. They are low, linear and parallel ridges of coarse deposits along the banks of rivers, quite often cut into individual mounts. Point bars are also known as meander bars. They are found on the convex side of meanders of large rivers and are sediments deposited in a linear fashion by flowing waters along the bank. Q44.C. Statement 1 is not correct. The additional functions relating to the services of the Union can be conferred on UPSC by the Parliament. It can also place the personnel system of any authority, corporate body or public institution within the jurisdiction of the UPSC. Hence the jurisdiction of UPSC can be extended by an act made by the Parliament. Statement 2 is not correct. The following matters are kept outside the functional jurisdiction of the UPSC. In other words, the UPSC is not consulted on the following matters: A. While making reservations of appointments for posts in favor of any backward class of citizens. B. While taking into consideration the claims of scheduled castes and scheduled tribes in making appointments to services and posts. C. With regard to the selections for chairmanship or membership of commissions or tribunals, posts of the highest diplomatic nature and a bulk of Group C and Group D services. D. With regard to the selection for temporary or officiating appointment to a post if the person appointed is not likely to hold the post for more than a year. Statement 3 is correct. The UPSC presents, annually, to the President the report on its performance. The President places this report before both the Houses of Parliament, along with a memorandum explaining the cases where the advice of the Commission was not accepted and the reasons for such non-acceptance. All such cases of non-acceptance must be approved by the Appointments Committee of the Union.